everyone, how are you all doing? I've been wanting to do a video about Venus in Capricorn for a while, but work has been so busy on the baking side. As you all know, I'm also a plant-based pastry chef. As the holiday season is coming up soon, I've just been deep in cookie dough for the past couple of weeks. Anyways, here I am, so better late than never, right? So Venus in Capricorn. Venus has been in Capricorn since November and is going to stay in Capricorn for an extensive period of time until March 2022. Yes, you guessed it right, because Venus is going retrograde in Capricorn. I know how everyone usually don't like the word retrograde. Whenever they hear a planet going retrograde, they'll be like, oh my god, no, what's going to happen? Is it like something really bad? Is something bad's gonna happen? While retrograde sometimes do get a bad rap, I personally don't think that is a bad thing, because just like a yin yang is about balancing the energy in the cosmos. You cannot have a certain energy all the time. And I see retrograde as a period of time to let us go slower, go within, to slow down, because we cannot constantly be on the go mode. We need some time to reflect on everything in life. So retrograde is actually a good time for to give us some space, to let us contemplate, to let us reflect on things in life. So let's talk about this transit. This Venus retrograde is being talked about a lot because while it is in Capricorn and is going to retrograde, it is also going to be with Pluto. Pluto will be sitting alongside of Venus during this period of time, so that's why it's a little bit extra powerful. And Pluto is usually associated with also a bad rap, talking about death and rebirth. It is the ruler of Scorpio. It's about going deep to the underworld, to things that's hidden, that's usually avoided or not talked about, that's deep inside our psyche, and is requiring us to look deep and to maybe have a transformation. And it sounds scary, that's why people don't like it. But again, I personally think it's not such a bad thing, because how are we going to grow, evolve, and change when we don't look at ourselves from time to time to see which part of life needs to be rearrange, readjust, reflect on, and to improve, right? So I always want to encourage all of us to try not to be very extreme on one end or the other, but try to find the balance and try to see the light when we're going through maybe a tougher or an uneasy transit that people usually think they are. So come back to it. Today is actually quite a significant date, December 11th, because Venus is going to conjunct Pluto while it is going direct, while it is retrograding, and going back to direct in Capricorn. So because Venus is slowing down, and we actually have our first Venus Pluto conjunction on today, December 11th. And because of the speed of Venus is slowing down, this conjunction is going to actually last until the rest of December, until 29th to be exact. And by that time, Venus will conjunct Pluto again on Christmas Day, 25th, and it will conjunct Pluto again the third time when it goes back to direct on March 3rd. So let's recap. Venus is in Capricorn right now. It is going to stay in Capricorn until March 2022. And Venus is going retrograde on December 19, which is also the same date as our last full moon in 2021. And it will retrograde from 19th to January 21st. But of course, you know, energy are not clear cut. I'm telling you the dates, but that's not like the date where we'll feel it. We have been feeling it probably already. We're already in the shadow period of the Venus retrograde. And after late January, when it comes out from retrograde, there's still another post-shadow period. So Venus will go direct in Capricorn on January 21st, but the post-shadow period won't really leave us until early March. And so that's why all three conjunctions that Venus is going to have with Pluto, it will be throughout this whole season. So after millennium, it will be over. I'm just joking. So when we talk about Venus, everyone will immediately think about love, relationships. While it is true, it is not what Venus is all about. So during this time, what's going to happen? Venus retrograde, does that mean we're not supposed to be in a relationship? Are the relationships that we're in gonna be no, it doesn't mean like that exactly, but it does give us the space to work with the energy, and depending on what sign the planet is in, is going to bring up different lessons. So let's talk about it. So Venus is about relationships, but not just romantic relationship. It is also our self-worth, our values, the relationship that we have with ourselves. Our one-on-one relationship. It can be relationship with a colleague, a parent, a friend. It also talks about what we value. It talks about our relationships with money. So as a collective, it can also be about the finance, the stock market. It can also be about things regarding justice, because Venus loves to seek justice and harmony within the collective society. It's a time to go deeper and to dig, to excavate our relationships, all our relationships, because relationships, in a way, they are our mirrors. They reflect to how we behave and how we treat people and how we act, how we face different situations. It also talks about the trust, the love, the give and take, those dynamics within all the relationships. So it does reflect our personality to us, and sometimes they can be a pretty mirror reflecting good things and good qualities, but sometimes it can also reflect or review things that we might not want to look at. It might be our shadow side, things that we might need to work on. So this is a good period of time for us to do that, and we will also be invited to do that with this energy. Capricorn likes structure. Capricorn likes to dig deep, to dissect everything because it rules the skeleton. So it wants to look deeper into everything to see if it's valuable, if it needs work, if it has structure. And we will maybe examine all these relationships and ask ourselves, are there relationships where you feel that you're giving too much or too little, or the other way around, that you're not receiving a lot or too much from the other party, right? And you will also examine, well, is there certain relationship that you feel like you might need to work on, you might need to communicate in order for this relationship to go on, to move to the next level, to deepen it. Or actually, let's say if you have been having a problem with a friend, maybe it is a good time to communicate that, hey, you actually hurt my feelings, or maybe it is time for us to work on our friendship. There are things that I don't agree, or so on and so forth. And that can happen in any sort of relationship, even the ones with ourselves. Maybe we will look at the relationship we have with ourselves. Are we treating ourselves right? Are we loving ourselves enough? What do we value? What do we truly love or don't like? It is a time to have those questions and to think about them, to contemplate, to dive deep and think about. And we will also look at all relationships that we're in right now. We will also look at the relationships that we might want to build with people, or relationship that we have ended but left an imprint within us. Maybe we want to salvage it. We think about it and we might like, oh, maybe that friend, that person I do really care about, and I would love to reach out and reconnect and see what happens. Or maybe it is time for you to finally realize that it is time to let go and move on. Whatever it is for you, they might come up during this period of time when Venus is in retrograde, to bring up those lessons, to let you have another look, have a different look, different perspective, and to see what you want to do. You might find out that through this experience, you will have a new discovery, redefine your values, what you truly value in relationships, and how you value money also, because Venus is also about money. So when I think of Venus retrograde in Capricorn, one of the example I can think of is, well, maybe I want to get a new leather jacket because my old one is like worn out, or I can't fit in anymore. And I'll think about, well, do I want to spend a lot of money to buy like a really expensive leather jacket, but I know that will last a lifetime? Because Capricorn likes things that will last. They want to build things that actually will last. They look into the longevity of things. And maybe I'll be like, well, but I do want to save money, but I do value the problem of climate change. I don't want to contribute, and I don't want to be a part of contributing more waste to the fashion industry. Maybe you'll end up going to a secondhand shop to get a vintage leather jacket, which is good quality, but less wasteful in a way, but still lasts a long time. So that's one of the examples I can think of. So overall, I think it is quite a powerful transit. It can also be very profound and alchemical, because it can help us to take a deeper look. It might not be easy to dive deep into all the relationships we have, and to really ask ourselves what we value and how where do we place ourselves, and where do those relationship place in your life? Are they all worth investing more or less? So some question might be a little bit harder than the others, but overall I do think it is a very profound transit that can help us redefine a lot of things, our values, all our relationships, relationships with money. And as a collective, we might even see some changes or some up and down, hopefully not all bad, but in finance, in the stock market. So it will be interesting to see how all of this energy play out individually and as a collective in the coming months. Again, it's going to last for a minute. So, and with that, I did a reading for the collective, and I would like to share it with you all, so stick around. Hi. So actually I was not planning to do this video because I thought I was a little bit too late, but after I did this reading, I saw the cut, I was like, no, it's better late than never. I love the message that came out through the cards, and I cannot not share it. So here we go. And this is a general reading, so it might not resonate with you at all, or you might only find some messages that will relate to you, which is okay. And we haven't go through that transit yet, so feel free to come back to listen to it again when we finish the transit to see if any of this message resonates with you. What I did is I asked, what is Venus retrograde in Capricorn bringing in for the collective? What is the lesson of this Venus retrograde in Capricorn bringing in for us? And what are we embracing? And what is our advice? So we will start with what is this transit? What is the lesson? So we'll start with what is the lesson that this transit is bringing in for us as a collective. We have Three of Swords, the Hangman, and the Emperor. So the lesson from this Venus retrograding in Capricorn is bringing in is that it is a time for us to step back, to examine, to look at all the relationships in different areas of our life where we feel like we might feel hurt, we might be the one who hurt someone, or it's bringing you some truth that's hard to swallow, and it is time to really look at them and to examine them, to give ourselves that space to examine all those relationships. What are they trying to teach us? And if there's a relationship that is not working out, or that's bringing some sadness, negative experience for you, it is time to take your power back, to communicate, to stand up for yourself if you're the one that's, being hurt in the relationship, or vice versa. Or it is time to communicate to, if it is a relationship that you've been hurt, it is time to take your power back, to stand up for yourself, to break free from it. Or if it is a relationship that needs to work on, that you need to take action, it is time to also do that. So, and then we have what are we embracing or learning as well, on what is this transit bringing in for us. Similarly to for us to take a break, to take a step back, to re-examine relationships that's not working out or that you think that needs work, to really step up, be the emperor, to take your power back, whether it is to break free or communicate or to really work on it. The second one is a Two of Wands in reverse, Seven of Swords in reverse, and a Page of Pentacles, Page of Coins. No more waiting, no more thinking, fantasizing. And it is also time to stop just at the stage where you're just thinking, fantasizing what can be, should be, could be, and all those stuff. It is time, it depends again what kind of relationship, right? It is time to really take some action after thinking, contemplating. There's no more time for you to keep yourself at the stage where you keep only fantasizing and thinking about or strategizing or just being stuck in your mind and letting your thoughts to haunt you or to delay you. But it is really take that action, to take a step, even if it's just a small step, to try to reach out or to communicate, to take that first initial step to talk to that person or to cut off the relationship, whatever it is for you, depending on what kind of relationship dynamics you're in. But it is after that time to give yourself to do that thinking, reflecting, contemplating. Okay, well, don't get stuck in that stage. No more thinking, no more waiting, no more fantasizing. If it is something you want, go for it. If it's something that you need to cut off, well, then cut it off. Even if it's just a small little step, but start taking that tangible step. Maybe it is time to call that friend. Maybe it is time to stand up for yourself to your boss. Maybe it is time to mend a relationship you really do treasure, but you are too scared to communicate because you don't know the outcome. Keep thinking and not taking any action, nothing's going to happen. So now the card is telling you, well, if you've been thinking, contemplating, it is time to start taking some action and not letting your thoughts haunt you. And then we come here to advice for the collective for this transit. We have Seven of Cups, we have Ace of Swords, and we have Seven of Coins. So the advice for the collective for this transit, which I love because they all flow through really well, is that while we might have a lot of different thoughts, we might have a lot of different outcomes that we can think of, and maybe we might even have a lot of different people trying to give us their input, their opinions, or we might be the one who seek opinions or advice from people, and it might cause more confusion, or it will just keep us stuck in that thinking stage, to think of all these different scenarios, all this what ifs, what's going to happen, what if I say something and it's not going to turn out the way I want, blah blah blah. Well, when you feel like that, it is time to come back to your own truth. What do you really value? What is really true to you? Because after all, yes, there's no harm to listen to other people's advice and taking into consideration of their opinions and advice. But after all, it's your relationships. What do you truly value? What is your truth? It doesn't matter what other things at the end of the day. It only matters to you. What is worth your effort? What doesn't worth your effort anymore? You need to communicate with yourself to see what truly is true to you and what you value in all these relationships, right? And then take the necessary action in order to achieve what you want. And if the outcome is not what you want, well, at least you tried. You didn't get stuck in that thinking, fantasizing space. Now you can move on, right? And I got oracle cards for additional message, which I was so surprised, and I scream literally when this card comes out. Full moon in Gemini. Why? Well, Venus is retrograding in Capricorn. What does this card even mean? Well, actually, we are going to have our last moon in 2021 very soon on the 19th, and it will be a full moon in Gemini. And guess what? On the same day, that day is when Venus go retrograde in Capricorn. So we got a date confirmation, which is very, very nice. And the advice we have from the Moonology deck is push through any insecurity, embrace the flow of life, reflect on your priorities, which is exactly the theme, the lesson, the energy of Venus retrograding in Capricorn. It is about not avoiding what we have to face. It is about pushing through any insecurity that we have in any relationships, to communicate, to take the necessary actions. And it is time for us to also to look at all the relationships that we have in our life and reflect what is your priority, what really deserve your attention, your time. Remember, money is time. Time is money. They're the same thing. So if you value family, are you spending enough time with your family, or are you just working all the time? If you value friendship, are you reaching out to your friends? Are you really valuing your friendships by spending time with them? If you value love, are you putting enough work into the love relationships that you have? You value yourself. Are you giving the same love that you give to others to yourself? And always remember, flow with the energy. Whatever comes up, it is time for us to face. And the next message, which I find it really like a nice flow because it follows through. I used the spirit animal deck to get a oracle message, and the card that comes out is Swan Spirit, number card 60. Time for a deep dive. Number 60 breaks down to 6, which is about finding balance, finding harmony in all things. And swan, they are this beautiful creature swimming on the lake, and they have a very long neck that they can just dive deep into the lake, into the water, into the unknown, to seek truth, to look at the deeper level in things. So this is the energy of the transit as well. And I just want to read from the guidebook for you as well. Card 60, Swan Spirit. With their graceful long necks, swan are able to reach into the depths. No, I promise you I did not look at the guidebook before I say that. When swan spirits arrive, you are called to take a deep dive beyond what is easily available on the surface. You may think you know what is best for you now, but take the plunge into the depths of your awareness, for there is knowledge you are not aware of and great treasures to discover. Deeper understanding awaits you, and a perspective that comes from greater self-knowledge is what you need right now to better understand a situation or relationship. As you come to know yourself more intimately, so too will you come to better know others. So Swan Spirit asks you to go beyond the surface of what is happening between you and others, and resist the temptation to judge by superficial appearance. Know there is much deeper potential for loving connections, forgiveness, and mutual understanding. Choose to dive deep into your why, asking the deeper question of yourself. You are led by the grace of Swan Spirit. I mean, mic drop. Every single word from this card is exactly the energy that we are embodying for this transit. So it is time to, dive deep. Sometimes it might require us to ask some harder questions, but it is necessary if we do treasure those relationships in our life, right? And the last card I got is a love message from the Love Message Oracle. Life is a series of constantly shifting cycles. When we resist change, we resist the natural flow of life. Hello, embrace the flow of life. Exactly, resonating here. Go with the flow, you'll be surprised where it leads. Exactly. While we are diving deep into our relationships with all the people that we have in our lives, relationship with ourselves, with money and everything, also remember to embrace it with the ease, the flow of life. We cannot force things, but we can definitely look deeper, ask questions, and communicate. So change might happen and is inevitable, but change is what we need in order to evolve. So I hope this message helped, and I'm sending you so much love for this transit. Feel free to comment below. Follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!